Senate Fish and Game will be called to order. Would the Secretary please take the roll? Okay. Okay, let's open the hearing on Senate Bill 267. You guys going to do this too? Okay. Senator Brown, would you like to open on your bill, Senate Bill 267?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, the first thing I want to say is thank you to everybody that has stuck around so long in the day, both proponents, opponents. I know we had opponents when I came in the room, and I know we had opponents when I came in the room, and so this thanks for everybody for sticking around. I'll be really brief here as we get started here, just so we can allow those folks to have as much time as is needed to take a look at what these bills do. But the one point I want to make right off the top with the Senate Bill number 67, an act allowing for the reimbursement of costs incurred while harvesting wolves. One of the messages I get a lot is, why are we putting public funds into reimbursing hunters and trappers for wolves? This bill does not include any public funds. These are all private funds that would be used in a program like this. And with that, I will sit and we'll just listen to everybody that wants to talk.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of people on this bill, so we're going to start limiting things. So let's try to keep it.
Mr. Chairman, Senators, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Justin Webb, W-E-B-B. I'm the Executive Director of the Foundation for Wildlife Management. Permission to distribute some supplemental information?
Yeah, just hand it to the Secretary, please.
Senate Bill 267 is not about the F4WM program. SB 267 is about providing Montana sportsmen and FWP a tool that will assist in meeting wolf management objectives. It's about utilizing the most efficient wolf management model known to the lower 48. That said, I'd like to share with you a little about F4WM so that you might understand what this bill could create for the great state of Montana. F4WM assists Idaho Fish and Game in reaching wolf management objectives by encouraging sportsman harvest of wolves by reimbursing hunters and trappers out-of-pocket expenses for each legally harvested wolf, provided that they are a paid member in good standing and provide receipts for wolf harvest-related expenses to be reimbursed. The max amount reimbursed varies based on Idaho Fish and Game's own determination of need for additional wolf harvest in specific big game management units. F4WM has built a long-standing professional working relationship with the Idaho Department of Fish and Game, our commission, our biologists, legislators, livestock and agricultural organizations, and have followed the guidelines of those charged with managing our wolf populations in Idaho. F4WM is not an out-of-state program with interest in Montana wildlife management. F4WM is a wildlife conservation organization comprised of 4,412 members from 38 states, all of which happen to live or recreate right here in our region of Montana or Idaho. F4WM is not publicly funded. Our program follows the standard nonprofit business model used by the largest wildlife conservation organizations in the world, such as the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation or Ducks Unlimited, through membership dollars, fundraising banquets, sponsorships, and applicable grant sources. F4WM has removed 1,041 wolves at an average expense of $688. The Idaho Wolf Control Board contracts with Wildlife Services for all of Idaho's lethal wolf control at over $9,000 per wolf removed. Without the F4WM program, for the Wolf Control Board to have removed the same 1,041 wolves at $9,000 each, that would cost $9,369,000, which happens to be 65% state tax funded. That's over $6,089,000 state tax dollars saved through the implementation of our sportsman funded program. Why is F4WM or a similar program needed? Montana FWP has not set a population goal, but are using the guidelines that 150 wolves in the state equals total recovery of their population. Knowing that each breeding pair corresponds to 14 wolves and are managing for 30 breeding pair to ensure a large buffer, which actually correlates to no less than 420 wolves under these guidelines, while the improved patch occupancy model shows winter populations at over 1,100 wolves, which easily computes to 1,500 wolves on the landscape during summer and fall timeframes, recognizably, that's 10 times the number that Montana wolves are considered fully recovered. With your 5-year average wolf harvest at only 320 wolves, Montana game managers simply need more tools in order to control Montana wolf populations. Please support SB 267. Thank you.
Okay, he was there to kind of explain what the bill was about, but Mr. Lumley, you next.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Matt Lumley, L-U-M-L-E-Y. I've hunted wolves for the federal government and privately for going on 18 years now. And knowing the cost of trying to catch these things and run them down, I figure I've got about 35 days of time, effort, expensive equipment and things in this, and it's very expensive. Not going into great detail, pretty much everything Justin said, and please support this bill.
Thank you. Further proponents?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Mac Menard, that's M-I-N-A-R-D, Executive Director of the Montana Outfitters and Guides Association. We thank the sponsor for bringing this bill forward. We'll support it, and I'm going to give you a scenario for the record that works. About 70% of our membership are large landowners in Moga, and these guys may be ranchers and farmers first, and then outfitters may be second. And in some cases, the density of wolves are a problem on their properties or the adjacent lands, but they're not dense enough, nor is the catch rate high enough to make it a viable economic attraction for a trapper to come in. This kind of a model makes terrific sense because now the guy's incentivized to come in and get the job done. Moga will be a very willing partner in helping with fundraising activities. I think our currency in the form of donated trips would be welcomed at the banquet level, and we fully intend to support this activity should it go forward. Final note, I spent another life earlier in Alaska, and during that time I was part of the wolf removal programs in McGrath and up on the Yukon and down in Unit 9. And those programs were incredibly expensive. They were very effective. We were very good at what we did, and we did see recovery in ungulate populations like caribou and moose that were critical, mostly for the food source that they provide our local native communities. But without that work, the cost was extraordinary, and this is an alternative measure for that. So
Thank you. Is there further proponents in the room here? Is there any more outside?
Dave McEwen with Montana Wool Growers. I urge passage of this. While I'm a firm believer in the work that USDA does, and that would be to resolve conflict situations, methodology such as this will surely keep a very manageable level on the wolf population. If history has shown us anything, you can bring every gun and tool you own out in Canada and Alaska, and while it keeps it manageable, we don't have to worry about them going anywhere. They're still there. So I urge passage.
Further proponents? Is Jim Beal online?
Mr. Chair, he is not.
Okay. Now I guess we'll go to opponents, and I see there's lots of opponents, and we don't want to repeat any stories, and let's get a point across, and we'll go from there.
Chairman Heinbach, committee members, Vice Chair, sponsor, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Mark Cook, C-O-O-K-E, and I'm with Wolves of the Rockies. You just have to look at the title of this bill. It's an act allowing reimbursement of cost incurred while harvesting wolves. For myself and our legal team and colleagues, some of which were hunters and, believe it or not, trappers and livestock producers, this is clearly a bounty. This will increase the negative public perception of Montana and the Montana Wildlife, or excuse me, the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks Department. If passed, it will have an impact on tourism in Montana, and not for the better. As Mr. McNard from Moga said a month and a half ago, 30% of the people that come to Montana and use outfitters are non-consumptive. So that's a lot of money. I understand there's no fiscal no for this. Okay, I don't think that's a good thing. And the reason I don't think that's a good thing is because what it's doing is it's taking private funding and it's using that private funding to privately manage wildlife. Now, the management of wildlife falls to the responsibility of Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, regardless of how one may feel about them. That is their objective. That is their job.
Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson.
Mr. Kujala, Mr. Chair, what are we on objective for wolf populations? I mean, where are we at?
Right, Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson. Right now, our best estimate puts the statewide wolf population at about 1,200 wolves. The state does not have a target to manage toward. The recovery plan, the conservation strategy from Montana for wolves identified a threshold of 150 wolves and 15 breeding pairs. And so we are well above that. I say threshold because in the conservation strategy, that was where management options increased above that and decreased below that. Those are the numbers involved with wolf management in Montana today. Senator Jacobson, Chair Heinbaugh.
Follow-up?
Follow-up.
Okay. And if you guys, we just do not have this all recorded in here. If you're going to take pictures, why don't you go outside and take pictures or something, would you please?
So just another question then. Now, trapping, what are some of the, I mean, when we're doing wolf management, I mean, what are the different steps that the department uses, strategies the department uses for wolf management? And I know there's depredation and livestock depredation as part of the management as well, but there's also where we're looking at, at least attempting to get wolves to a targeted number. What are some of the strategies that the department uses?
Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson, Montana has long been an opportunity state when it comes with wildlife resources, and wolves certainly illustrate that. Wolves, with their resilience in the population size, allows for a generous season, a long season, both trapping and hunting. Runs from the start of the archery season in early fall to end of February. Right now, we are running at about, last couple of years, about 300 harvested wolves. That's a sum total of both trapping and firearm hunting. Roughly another 50 wolves are taken out of conflict by wildlife services, and another 20-ish, Senator Jacob, Chair Heinbaugh, are taken by landowners in defensive property. Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson.
So can you do the math for me?
So that, Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson, right now we're running at about 350, about 400 wolves a year of recorded harvest.
And one last follow-up.
Follow-up.
And so just, I guess my last question to you would be is, do we feel that we need to increase that harvest number at all? Or are we on target? Do you feel that that's a healthy number?
Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson, we do feel that the population is resilient and could sustain additional harvest. Chair Heinbaugh, Senator Jacobson.
All right, thank you.
Is there further questions from the committee? If not, Senator, would you like closing your bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This really comes down to one thing. We've heard over the years, we've heard several wolf bills. I know because I've presented many of them myself. And the argument's always the same, both sides. It always is. Some people believe we need to harvest more wolves and protect our ungulates, and some people believe we need more wolves. It really comes down to that. This program, one of the things that I had in there, it doesn't say that a person has to kill wolves. It just says that they can be reimbursed for trapping expenses. You can take that. One group may say, if we got you out there, that's part of our goal, is just to get you out there. Whether you harvest them or not, we're going to still reimburse you for that activity. That would be up to particular investors into an individual group or an individual themselves. You know, the latest, the last thing I saw, which was the latest numbers from FWP, their IPOM numbers show that the number is not decreasing, that it did increase over the last year. And